First dates can be a minefield of problems. Where will I take her? What will I wear? How will I hide my lazy eye? And how much Rohypnol is too much? But I'm sure you, the listener, have plenty of your own horror stories. Missing the bus, getting lost on the way to the venue, and then realising that the tramp you kicked in the back in your mad rush to get there on time was also your blind date. Yeah, I hate that too. But instead of whinging and whining about our past experiences, we have to spare a thought for those poor souls, the girls who would work the streets, alleyways and parks in London's Old East End, because for many of those girls, that was the result of a date gone wrong. Now, recorded in a book written by Henry Mayhew, which I've discovered, and bearing in mind that Henry Mayhew was a journalist and not a novelist, he interviewed 2,000 people who were on the streets, working the streets, homeless, in the workhouses, to put together a book called London's Underworld. And in that book, there's recorded time and time again the same story over and over again, coming out of the mouths of all different girls from all different walks of life. But the story usually goes as follows. Pretty young Victorian girl whose head is filled with romance and whose days are blissfully spent doing embroidery and swooning a lot. One day, on a walk in a park or outside the front of her own house, meets a dapper young gent who pays her a compliment. Now she's dazzled by his sparkling blue eyes and his words drip with honey. And over time, maybe he meets her again and again and suggests a walk, each time further and further away from home. Anyway, one day her new beau takes her just a little bit further than she's comfortable until she realises that she doesn't actually know where she is anymore. He says, "Oh, don't worry, this is actually my neighbourhood and my mother lives nearby. Maybe we can call in and I can introduce you." Well, this naive young girl follows this young gent into a house where this old lady will greet her and maybe give her a drink, whereupon she's drugged, raped and wakes up in the sex trade. Her family never see her again and maybe think she's run away, and you'd have a hard job finding people in those days. And so began 10, 20, 30, 40 years of intimate dealings with men whose concept of personal hygiene peaked at urinating outside of your trousers, and who thought chlamydia was a girl's name. Now, as I said earlier, this sad, sad story is told time and time again by first-hand accounts in this book. So next time you're sat at a table opposite someone who looks like Mel Smith and sounds like Kenneth Williams, spare a thought for these girls of London's Old East End. Some tell tales, others rhyme, but I sing songs from the Howling Sea. If you're wondering what on earth you just witnessed, you've been watching a video from the Songs from the Howling Sea podcast. Each week I release a song and a video about a person or a subject from London's East End. 52 songs in 52 weeks. For more, visit www.songsfromthehowlingsea.com.